Hey everybody. Well, hello. Welcome everybody to the Womb Room. My name is Jess, and I see everybody is off of video, which is totally fine. But I also want to let you know that you're welcome to turn your cameras on, say hello, and just be a little more in the space. But if you want to, be kind of quiet or not have your video camera on, that is also totally understandable and totally fine. Before we get started, and as we wait for some other people to slowly trickle in, hey Cleo, I'm Jess, and I'm a yoga therapist and a doula. I am a birth doula and a postpartum doula. Postpartum is a little bit my favorite. But I'm a yoga therapist. I have my master's degree in yoga therapy, and I specialize in working in female reproductive health and wellness. So I work with people from trying to conceive, trying to have a better period, looking for support during pregnancy and birth and postpartum. So I work through the whole kind of wave of reproductive stuff. It's one of my favorites. I definitely love working with the pelvic floor postpartum as well. So it's so nice to have all of you here. Before we get started, what do you need today? Why did you come to this class? What would feel really good for you to address in this movement and breath and meditation practice that we're about to embark on?
I think the continual thing I'm working on is, or working with, is heartburn, acid reflux, and just general sort of upper abdomen challenges. So for whatever that's worth, it's been helping not to go all the way down or let my head sort of beneath my hip range. But yeah, otherwise, if you have any suggestions.
I think that's the best thing. And, you know, I mean, the kind of old wives' tale is that baby has a lot of hair.
Yeah, he better. If he comes out bald, I'm going to send him back in till he grows it, because
it better be worth it.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, very understandable. Yeah, so just keep your head above your heart so that, nothing is coming back up. Also, what's happening there is the, relaxin, it goes through your body and it loosens all of the ligaments. It's loosening that little valve that is, generally keeps the stomach acid in your body. That valve is like floppy now. So that's what's going on. And we'll do our best. It's not like we can strengthen that. Maybe we can, but that's just something I definitely don't know about.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but keep your head on the higher side of things. Yeah, I'm sorry you're still going through it.
Yeah. 3 more months. You can do anything for 3 more months. So
it's true. It's true. Anybody else have anything that they need for class today?
I am getting a little bigger, and I've been having sort of like side aches, like not really back pain, but just kind of like achiness on the sort of side of my body. So like any kind of side stretches would be good.
Yeah, we can totally do that. I love side bends in pregnancy. Makes a little more spaciousness for the baby, for you. Anybody else?
I'm just finishing my first trimester, which has been really challenging, and I've been experiencing morning sickness all day. And, so I'm really just looking forward to like using my body again now that I'm like starting to feel better and I'm able to not be tethered to the bathroom.
Yeah. Oh, morning sickness there's nothing like it. Quite like,
No, nothing at all. Not like worse than a worst hangover.
yeah, especially if it's all day. That's awful.
Definitely.
So glad you're coming out of it. So we'll make sure you get some movement, but if you're still feeling tired or anything, take your time. There is no like gold star for like pushing through it. This isn't a workout class. This is prenatal. I always
Awesome.
want to remind people that, because sometimes yoga can be seen as like a workout, which like it's fine, whatever. People do what they want. That's not my jam though. I'm glad you're here. Anybody else have anything that they want to work on today? All right, beautiful people. We're going to get started laying on our left side. We're going to start off with some side body stuff, some gentle movement. So lay down on your left side. And for this, you're going to want to take a pillow either under your head, or maybe even a pillow between your knees, or if you're feeling really large and baby is really leaning forward, it might feel good to take a pillow or even a blanket underneath your belly so that it's not kind of drooping down or dropping into gravity, but it's feeling uplifted and supported. And that might help some side body discomfort if you're experiencing that. So I'm going to readjust my camera, well, my whole computer actually. So keep getting yourselves settled, laying on your left side. Pillow between your knees. I think I have to lift this up a little higher. There we go. And start to feel your breath. Move in your body. Maybe you take your right hand to your belly, connecting with baby. There you go. Just beginning to let your body settle into gravity. Taking 2 more breaths here, just in stillness. And you'll start to reach your right arm directly in front of you. And then as you breathe in, reach your right arm overhead, behind you, towards your feet, and back around, making this big circle. And let your torso stay really steady so that the only thing moving is your right arm. Everything else is staying where it is. Sometimes when we do this in class, we add a little movement with the rest of our bodies, but for right now, I want you to focus on just moving your right arm. If you notice that there's furniture in the way or walls, if you need to move to give yourself more space, go ahead and do that. I can't move because then you won't be able to see me on the screen. So I'm just going to move around this wall right here. And the next time your right hand comes in front of you, take your circle in the other direction, reaching your arm down toward your feet, behind you, overhead, and then in front. So I call these helicopter circles. Just making these nice helicopter circles with your right arm. And notice how your body is adjusting to this movement. How does your body stay still in the middle? What muscles are moving? How is the rest of your body interacting with the floor? Is it different when your arm comes in front versus when it comes in the back? And just really noticing the intricate web and delicate connectedness that's taking place in this very simple movement. And then the next time your right arm comes around, go ahead and pause. Let your palm connect to the floor. Take 2 wide breaths in, a breath out. And then very gently remove your pillow. And you're going to shift up either onto your left elbow or onto your left hand. So find whichever one works for you. And you can keep your legs how they are and let your shoulder come by your ear so that you're lengthening out your left side body. Just take a few kind of sways, a little shift. You should start to feel a stretch along different parts of your left side. And let this be more of a feeling experience than a form or alignment-based experience. So just noticing right here. Good. And then if you're up on your hand, you're gonna lower to your elbow. And then you're slowly just gonna roll over onto your back. Coming on your back for a moment. We're gonna lift up into a bridge pose just for about 4 breaths. Press your feet down, lift your hips. If you want, you can take your pillow between your knees and give it just a gentle squeeze to engage your inner thighs, help facilitate a gentle engagement in your pelvic floor and your abdominals. 1 more breath here. Breath out, stay lifted. And slowly lower your hips and roll over to your right side. You can roll away from the camera if you want. I'm going to turn around so that I can stay facing you all. So on your right side, set yourself up for comfort here. We're going to just spend a few moments connecting to breath, connecting to baby. Just taking a sigh. Just feeling your breath, the floor beneath you. A sigh. And when you're ready, start to reach your left arm in front of you this time and begin to take those big arm circles, those helicopter circles with your left arm. Again, if a wall is in the way, I encourage you to move. Or maybe you have to bend your arm in a certain way to get around that, and that's totally fine. Or furniture. Nice, a couple more in this direction. Again, letting your whole body stay really still and noticing how your body responds to this movement of your arm. Where do you feel extra pressure, extra engagement? And then gently go the other direction. Nice big circles. Again, see if you can make it all the way around in these big circles. I have a lot of things in my way, so I gotta bend my elbow, which is totally fine if you have to do that too. It just doesn't feel as good. Good. About 2 more rounds here. And then slowly ground your left palm. Take a breath. And slowly press yourself up either to your right elbow or your right palm. So whichever one works for you. And you can stretch your legs out a little bit if you want, however works for you. And let your shoulder come by your ear so that you have this long sensation through your right side body. And just take a couple sways, a couple gentle movements. And again, think more about what you're feeling versus what you might look like or where your body is positioned. Really focusing on this sensation in your right side, this gentle stretch that's taking place. Couple more breaths. Good, and gently coming back to center. You're gonna this time come all the way over to your tabletop pose. Coming right into it, taking your time if you need to. Let your knees come wide. And slowly bring your feet towards each other. Let your hips come back toward your heels. So make sure your knees are nice and wide so baby can come between your thighs. You're gonna breathe in, reach up, and kind of stretch forward a little bit, kind of like a knee down up dog. And then come back hips to heels. And as you come forward, you might separate your feet to get a little lower in the hips. And then as you come back, bring your feet back to touch. So just find a couple of these. Maybe you start to find some undulation in your spine, really rolling in and out. Or maybe you keep your spine pretty neutral. Whatever feels good. Just working on gentle core strength as you come in front, and then a little stretch in the heart space. And a nice wide pelvis as you reach back. Just a couple more. Awesome. Hey, Lauren, welcome. And then slowly come right back to center. Let your knees come under your knees, your hands under your shoulders, and start to take some big circles here. Nice wide circles. And as you come to the side, you might stretch out your side body, kind of pushing your ribs to the side. And again, if you need to widen your knees, go ahead and do that, making space for baby. And then go the other direction. And settling back in the middle. Take a wide breath in, tilt your tailbone up, let your chest reach forward. And exhale, tilt your tailbone down, roll your chest down. Breathe in, open-hearted. Exhale, pulling back. One more. Exhale. And gently come back to the middle. Give your shoulders a little roll. And then we'll find a puppy pose. Walk your hands forward, drop your chest. Let your shoulders roll away from your ears and your elbows connect with the ground. If you feel like this is a lot on your back, I invite you to take your hips a little closer to your heels. That might help. Or even a pillow or a couple pillows under your chest. 2 more breaths here. Slowly wave back forward. Find your tabletop. As you breathe in, extend your right leg all the way back. Let your right foot lift off the floor. Hug your baby up to your heart so you feel this really sturdy center in your body. Take a big breath in. Breath out, draw your right knee towards your right armpit. Breath in, reach back. Exhale, knee towards your elbow or armpit. They don't have to touch, they're just reaching towards each other. And let your spine stay really long and stable the whole time, just like we were doing when we were taking our helicopter arms laying on our side. Good. And the next time you reach your right foot back, pause for a moment, connect your right toes to the ground and open up to a side plank. Maybe your left heel comes off the side a little bit and then right arm reaches high. As you breathe in, reach your right arm overhead. Find this kind of arc in your body, like your body is trying to make a rainbow, and stretch long through your right side body. Take another breath in, a breath out. Slowly coming back to center. Let your right hand come down to the middle of your mat, close to your left hand. And then gently, you're gonna step your right foot forward, finding a low lunge with your hands inside your leg. So like this. Right knee in front, hands inside your right foot. Take a couple hip circles, move your hips around. And then gently find your middle space. Let your knees be about 90 degrees bent. Walk your hands up your right thigh. Press down through both your right foot and your left knee and feel your left glute start to activate. Gently squeeze your inner thighs together like you're trying to squeeze a little ball or something between your upper inner thighs. You're like zippering them together. As you breathe in, reach your arms all the way up. Get really tall versus taking a back bend. Think length. And then let your hands clasp opposite elbows. Take a pause here. Press down through your foot and your knee again. And then start to lean over to the right, stretching your left side. Take a couple more breaths here. Nice and wide. One more breath in, breath out. Breathe in gently, reach your arms up, and super slow, land your hands back inside your right foot. We'll find one more side plank. Right foot slides back. You can connect your right foot to the floor or lift it up. Big breath here, breath out. Slowly find your way to hands and knees. We'll do that little series on the other side. If you need to take a break, go ahead and take a break, roll your wrists, find what feels good. So when you're ready for left side, go ahead and lengthen your left leg back, take a pause, and lift your left leg high. Baby hugs up to your heart, take a breath in. Exhale, left knee to your elbow or armpit, breathe in, reach back. Finding a couple of these. Only thing moving is your left leg. Everything else is staying really solid, steady. It's responding to this movement. The rest of your body is just recalibrating to keep that balance. Next time your left leg reaches long, find your side plank. Your left foot can connect to the floor, or maybe it lifts up high. Breathe in, left arm overhead, nice wide side body stretch. Couple more breaths. Thinking about that rainbow shape with your body. Last breath in, breath out. Coming all the way back up. Left hand comes close to your right hand and your left foot starts to step forward. Take those hip circles here. Nice and wide. And then gently coming back to center. Press down through your foot and your knee and lift up, walking hands up to your left thigh. Press down again, reaffirm your strength, feel your right glute turn on, feel your inner thighs start to kind of magnetize towards each other. Breathe in, reaching up, getting really tall here. You're pushing down to lift. Hands come to opposite elbows, take a breath in. Exhale, lean over to the left side this time, stretching long through your right side. If you feel wobbly here, keep pressing down through your left foot, or maybe widen your left foot a little off to the side so that you have a wider base, right? One more breath here. Big exhale. Inhale, lifting right back up. Slowly ground your hands to the floor, and when you're ready, slide your left foot back. Side plank. Maybe you lift your left leg. Take one more breath here. Breath out. Lower hands and knee. Come to either child's pose, resting your body for a moment, stretching your back too, or Downward facing dog. We'll take about 4 breaths. Find what feels good. No bonus points for choosing one or the other. Choose what feels good for you right now. Good. Taking 2 more breaths. And if you're in child's pose, gently stretching and slinking your way into a downward facing dog just for a moment. And we'll all meet walking hands and feet towards each other, finding a forward fold. And if you have dizziness, heartburn, reflux, come up about halfway. Keep your head above your heart a little bit. And wherever you are, just take a couple breaths here. Let it feel good. Let your knees have that soft bend. And super slow, one step at a time. Walk your hands up your legs, lifting your torso. Hands to hips, big circles. Nice and wide here. Good, go the other direction. Think hula hoop. Nice and broad. Good, and come right back to center. Nice. Take a breath in, reach your arms all the way up. Clasp hands to opposite elbows. Let your shoulders drop about halfway down so they're not pushing down really low. They've got that sweet middle spot right there. And you're gonna lean over to one side, it doesn't matter which. Just getting really long on that one side and start to let your hips go a little bit over to that side too. And then breathe in, come back to center. Take an exhale. Breathe in other side. Start to press your hips to the other side. Good, coming back, we'll do one more each side. If you wanna lengthen your arms and clasp your hands, or you wanna take your hands to your hips, you can explore that, totally fine. Coming back to center, one more to the other side. And come right back up, shake it out. Nice. Go ahead and step to the top of your mat. I'm gonna turn the camera down just a little bit. Hopefully you can see my feet a little bit better. I feel like my duvet cover is a little puffier today than it normally is. Breathe in, reach all the way up. And as you exhale, hands come to your heart, bend your knees, sink your hips back behind you. And think about making this kind of lightning bolt shape with your body rather than this kind of shape or taking a big back bend. Find this really strong lightning bolt. Hug your baby up to your heart, pulling them close. Take another wide breath in, breath out. And start to put more weight into your right foot. Lift your left heel. Big breath in, breath out. Press down through your right foot and see if you can lift your left knee. Pausing here, balancing for a moment. Check in with what feels okay. If you need to bring your toes down again, you can. One more breath. And super slow, stretch your left leg all the way behind you, balancing in an airplane for a moment. This is airplane. If you need to be lower, find what feels right. And then step it all the way back. High lunge, breathe in, reach all the way up. Exhale. Bending forward in your right knee, take a breath in. Exhale, cactus your arms out to the side so you're making this kind of shape. Breathe in, reach up. Exhale, cactus your arms again and bend your left knee a little bit. So right leg stays the same. Breathe in, straighten your left leg, reach your arms. Exhale, bend your left knee, elbows come out. 2 more like that, breathing in. Exhale. 1 more. Breath out. Breathe in, reach your arms up, straighten your right leg. Right hand clasps your left wrist and reach over to the right, straight right leg here. Big breath in, breath out. And slowly lift up and open to your warrior 2. Bend your right knee. Good, take a moment to find your legs, adjust yourself, and let your elbows really reach long, like everything's pulling out from the middle. Good, take another breath here. Breath out. Slowly straighten your right leg, lift your right arm, take a nice side body stretch here. Exhale, just hover your right elbow over your right knee, bending your right knee again. Breathe in, lift and lengthen. Exhale, hover. So whenever we stretch something, we also want to work on strengthening it and building both this sense of suppleness and strength. So if we can bring strength into our side bodies, they can help support us a little bit better, especially during this time when everything is expanding, stretching, moving into a new place in your body. Just take a couple more. One more. Big exhale, pause in the hover, lift baby up to your heart. Feel that sense of steadiness here. And then connect elbow to thigh without losing that sense of strength in your core. Just keeping that lift. One more breath here. Breath out. Breathe in, lift all the way up, straighten your right leg, turn your right toes to the left. We're gonna find goddess pose. Turn your toes out just a little bit. Elbows out to your sides, goddess arms. You don't have to be bent all the way down here. You can be up a little higher. This is where I want to be today. Start to check in with your inner arches of your feet. And imagine your inner arches are like little straws, and they're lifting up. And notice what that might feel like in your body. What parts of your body kind of reverberate that upward sensation. Inner thighs, maybe belly, maybe pelvic floor. Shoulders relax, one more breath. Breath out. Keep that activity in your feet. Get a tiny bit lower breath in. Exhale, straighten your legs, reach your arms up. Breathe in, come down, maybe connect elbows to waist. Breathe out, lift. Breathe in, come down. I know it seems backwards. Exhale, lift high. Breathe in, come down, everything's widening. Exhale, everything's coming back together, lift tall. One more. Exhale. And then come back down, hands connect to your knees or your lower thighs, and lean forward. Take a couple sways. A big breath in. And exhale, drop one shoulder, twist. Inhale to middle and other side. One more each direction. Little shoulder twists. Gently back to the middle. Turn your feet to be parallel and take a wide-legged forward fold. You can always just stay on your fingertips and stay lifted a little bit, or you can come all the way down. Check what feels right for you. Shake your hips. Take a pause. Soft knees, one more breath. And slowly lift up about halfway. Walk your left hand a little more out to the left and in front. And you'll start to lift your right arm. So you're creating this kind of open twist so that baby has a lot of space. Let your belly be soft here. Let the twist come in your back body. Let yourself feel it in your side body. Take one more breath. And exhale, slowly come down. We'll switch sides. Right hand comes to the right side. Breathe in, lift your left arm. You can let your hips shift here. Soft belly, wide heart. One more breath. Breath out. Slowly lower it down. Shake out your hips a little bit. Turn your right toes almost all the way forward, but not quite. And start to bend into your right knee. So left leg stays long, right toes are pointed a little more forward, bend your right knee. You can stay here, heart a little high, about level with the hips, or you can start to lower your hips down. Maybe you lower your heel, finding what's called Skandasana. Hands can stay connected, you can lift your heel, or you can stay right here. So find what works best for you. I'm gonna stay right here, heel lifted, hands down. Take 2 more breaths wherever you are. Keep pressing your left foot into the floor and feel that strength reverberate up through your left thigh. Last breath. Big exhale. We'll start to pivot toward the front. Turn your right toes forward. Drop your left toes to the floor, finding a lunge here. Take a breath in, a breath out, and lower your left knee. Side plank. Right foot slides back. You can keep right foot connected or start to lift it. Right arm high. Take a wide breath in, breath out. Breathe in, right arm reaches overhead. And then exhale, bend your elbow, draw it toward your waist. 2 more like that. Breathing in, breathing out. Last one. Exhale. And then right hand and knee come to the floor. Widen your knees. Find a child's pose. If down dog feels better, or puppy pose, or something else, you can always take that. Just taking about 4 or 5 breaths here. Letting it feel good. Good, one more breath wherever you are. And slowly slink your body into another downward facing dog. Feet wide, soft knees. And shake it out a little if that feels good. Sway, shake out your head. And then walk hands and feet to meet each other, finding your forward fold. Somebody else just came in. Oh. Staying in your forward fold for another moment. Welcome back, Nicole. Sorry you got kicked out. And super slow, unravel all the way up to standing. No rush. Keeping that slow pace can feel really good for the dizziness that you might be feeling coming up too fast. Big hip circles here. Soft knees and let it be really wide. Go the other direction. And then gently settle back into the middle. Let your feet come under your hips, toes pointed forward, breath in, reach all the way up. Clasping hands to opposite elbows and let your shoulders just come down about 50%. Start to lean over to one side, let your hips reach, and then come back up, switch sides. Finding a pace and an intensity that works for you. Good, and then coming back to center, breathe in, reach up, and we'll find chair pose. I'm gonna come to this side of my mat, hands to heart, let your hips come back. Hug your baby up to your heart. It's not so much that you're tucking under, but so that you're not kind of letting baby drop. Let there be some activity there in your core. Take another breath in, breath out. Start to hover your right heel off the floor, putting more weight into your left foot. You can stay here, or maybe you want to explore balancing on your left foot. Right knee high. Take a moment. Good. Super slow. Reach your right leg behind you, finding an airplane pose. You can stay down here. This is airplane with your toes connected, or maybe you come all the way. Find what works for you. Take one more breath. Super slow. Step your right foot to the back. Left heel is grounded. Right heel is lifting nice and high. Bend forward in your left knee. I hope I'm not lagging too much for you while it's lagging a little on my end. Breathe in, reach your arms all the way up, big lift. Hands, exhale, arms come out to cactus shape. Breathe in, reach. Exhale, elbows bend, right knee bends. Couple more like that, breathing in, breathing out. Only thing moving is your right knee and your arms. So keeping your left leg really solid, your core really stable. Pause one more time down here. Breathe in, straighten both legs, reach your arms, left hand to your right wrist, lean over to the left. One more breath here. And slowly open to warrior two. Feel baby hug up to your heart. Adjust yourself, take a sigh, whatever you need. Good, next breath in, straighten your left leg, reach your left arm high. Exhale, hover your left elbow over your left thigh, bending your left knee. Breathing in, reaching. Exhaling, hovering. So finding your rhythm here with this. It doesn't have to be the same pace as mine, but really working on using your center still for this big movement, right? How can your glutes help support you here? Press down through your feet to feel that. One more. Just hovering, breathing in, lift. And this time connect elbow to your thigh. Press down, still lifting. So you're not kind of sinking, but you're still having that activity, that lift. One more breath. Exhale. Breathe in, lift all the way up. And we'll find our goddess pose. Excuse me. Turn your toes out a little to the side, bend your knees. And this time, hands to hips, and just find a couple rocks, a couple sways. And maybe you get a little lower than you were earlier, especially with this little movement. Getting lower should feel a little more accessible. So just rocking a little. Take a sigh. Good. And then slow the rocking and settle into stillness. Take a breath in, feel your belly widen and soften. Exhale, feel belly pull in. One more like that. Reach your arms all the way up. Keep your legs low. Good. Take a big breath in. Get a tiny bit lower. Keep sucking up your arches like we did on the first round. I know. We're going to stay for 2 more breaths. One more. Big sigh out your mouth. Nice. Straighten your legs. Turn your toes in. Shake it off a little bit. And when you're ready, finding a forward fold here. Again, you can always stay on your fingertips. Keep your head a little higher than your heart. Or you can come all the way down. If you come all the way down, maybe you explore clasping your hands behind your back. Maybe something else feels good. Staying for about 3 more breaths. And slowly coming up about halfway. Walk your feet just a tiny bit closer together. Imagine you have that straw sucking up through the bottoms of your feet so that you're engaging your inner arch. Hug your baby up to your heart and slowly reach your torso parallel to the floor, arms wide. Good, you got it. Start to bend into your left knee, butt back, left knee is bent. Breathe in, come back to center. Bend into your right knee, butt back. Breathe in, come back to center. Just taking these lunges to either side. If having your arms lifted doesn't feel good for your shoulders, bring your hands to heart. Really feeling your outer hips working here, your core lifting and supporting you. Good. One more each side. And the next time you bend into the left knee, pause here. Connect your hands to the ground. Turn your left toes about halfway to forward. And maybe you start to sink your hips, finding your Skandasana here, your version of Skandasana. Doesn't have to look like it did on the other side. Can look the same. Find what feels right. Take 2 more breaths. Press down through your right foot wherever you are. Big exhale. And we'll start to pivot everything back to the left, back to the front of the mat. So start to turn your chest forward, turn your left toes forward, and right toes connect to the mat. Pause here, and then reconnect your right knee to the floor. We'll find our side plank. Slide your left foot back, open up, big, wide side plank. Take a breath in, reach your left arm overhead. Maybe you lift your left foot. Exhale, bend your left elbow, connect it to your side waist. Breathe in, reach your left arm, exhale, connect to waist. One more like this. Big exhale. And slowly come all the way back to the ground, wide knees, child's pose, maybe puppy pose. Maybe you take a pillow under your chest. Take a sigh. Beautiful. While you're here, notice your breath, your heart rate. This beautiful aspect of being alive. I remember I would hear people talk about birth and pregnancy being a miracle. And I remember thinking that it was ridiculous. I was like, that's so silly. It's just part of life. And then when I was pregnant and when I did give birth, I was just amazed that some people do this like 8 or 10 times. It's amazing. And just the chances of getting pregnant aren't always as high as we think about or that we think they are when we're younger. So it's truly amazing. One more breath here, breathing into this life that you've created. Big sigh. And slowly walk back. Lift your chest as you're ready. Take your time. Give your shoulders a roll. Head and neck. Good. We're going to come up to a camel pose. So if your knees are sensitive, you can always take a blanket underneath your knees. You're going to press down through your shins. Lift up your hips. This pressing down helps us to engage our glutes. If you have a pillow and you want to bring it between your knees, you can start to gently squeeze the pillow, giving that extra affirmation of strength to pull everything upward. Thinking again back to that sense of the straw lifting up. Think of that happening through your pelvic floor, your inner thighs, your core, and everything's making you a little taller. Not bending back, but taller. Breathe in, reach all the way up. Again, lifting and lengthening. Take hands to opposite elbows. Take a breath in, a breath out. We're going to do a lean again. So lean to one side. It doesn't matter which. Keep squeezing and keep your hips where they are. Instead of pressing your hips to a side, keep your hips just where they are. Come back to center and do the other side. And come all the way back up. Take a breath in. And then draw your hips down toward your heels. Elbows come parallel to the floor. Breathe in, lift, thinking length. Exhale, lower, nice and slow. Good, just a couple like this. If you have the pillow between your thighs, gently squeezing it, just creating that effort there. It doesn't need to be 100% effort, just needs to be like 10 to 30% effort. Just enough so that it doesn't fall down, right? Couple more. Press down through your shins and your knees. This time breathe in, lift up. Cactus your arms, start to open your heart, squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other. Take one more breath. Breath out. Lower your arms, lower your hips to your heels, and find your way to your seat. Take your time. Grab some water. And once you're seated, make sure you have something under your hips so your hips are a little higher than your knees. Take a sigh and start to roll your rib cage in these sweet little circles. Take your time. Maybe you let your head go. Maybe you let your shoulders go and then go the other direction. Coming right back to the middle, shoulder roll. And start to connect your left hand to your left side. You can do a palm connection or fingertip, whatever feels better. And then gently let your right ear come toward your right shoulder. I encourage you to play with tilting your nose down and tilting your nose up. You might even play with connecting your right hand to the left side of your head for just a weight. You don't need to pull here, just adding some weight. Taking 2 more breaths. Release your hand if it was connected to your head, and super slow lift your head to the middle. Take a moment to notice your shoulders. Connect right fingertips or palm to the floor. And let your left ear draw to your left shoulder. And I encourage you to explore tilting your nose down and then up and just seeing how that feels. You might even add the weight here of your left hand to the right side of your head. So find what feels good. Doesn't have to be the same thing you did on the other side. If you're yawning like I am, yawning is a sign that your nervous system is coming to a more relaxed state. So is sighing and swallowing. If your left hand is connected to the side of your head, gently release it. And bring your head back to center. Maybe you roll your shoulders, maybe you roll your head. Just coming right back to the middle. Breathe in, reach your arms all the way up, get a nice sense of length again. And then cactus your arms out to your side. Lower them a couple inches below your shoulders so you've got a little more space in the side of your neck. Squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other at the back, like you're trying to squeeze them to touch your spine. Kind of a little squeeze there. And then you'll slowly pull your shoulder blades apart, wrap your arms around yourself so that your fingertips come to your shoulders, your shoulder blades. And then let your shoulder blades come a little more apart. Elbows are heavy. And then start to nestle your chin between your shoulder, or your elbows, I'm sorry. With each breath in, see if you can breathe a little wider into your back ribs, into the space between your shoulder blades, and create a little bit more space there from the inside out. Two more breaths. Unravel your arms, lift your head, take a sigh. Coming right back to the middle, extend your left leg out to the side. Take a breath in, getting nice and tall, and then lean forward on the inside of your left leg. Left leg is out, right heel towards your groin, and then leaning forward. You can bring your hands to a pillow, to anything that helps you feel supported. Maybe you keep your hands connected, maybe you bring elbows down. One more breath here. Breath out. Lifting up slightly. Walk over to your left leg, bow over it, and start to lift your chest to the middle, right arm high. Maybe you start to reach your right arm over, fingertips toward your toes. Take a wide breath in, breath out, and then breathe in, lift up. Connect your right hand to the floor behind your right hip, left arm high. Left hand to the back of your head, wide elbow, open heart. Big breath here, breath out. Coming back to center, you'll switch your legs. Right leg extends. Left heel pulls to your groin. Take a breath in, getting nice and long in your spine, and folding forward right down the middle. Two more breaths here. Slowly lifting up about halfway, walk over to your right leg, bow in. And then as you're ready, lift your chest toward the middle. Left arm maybe starts reaching towards your right toes. One more breath here. Breath out. Lifting all the way up, left hand connects to the floor behind your left hip, right arm high. Maybe you start to connect right hand to the back of your head, widen your right elbow. Breath in, breath out. Gently coming back to center. Find an easy seat. We're going to do a little breath work before meditation. So just find a comfortable seat. If sitting doesn't feel comfortable for you, you can try sitting in a chair. You can lay down in any way that feels good for you. Just make sure you're comfortable. Take some water if you have it by you. And just settling into whatever's a comfortable seat. Maybe you close your eyes and starting to notice your breath. Notice how your breath comes in and out of your body. Noticing the temperature of your breath in your nostrils. Cool on the breath in, warmer on the breath out. When your breath comes into your body, where does it go? Does it go to your chest, your back? Does your belly move? Do your side ribs move? How does your body receive the breath? What shifts? And see if you can just notice here instead of changing anything, instead of telling your breath how to do it. Let your breath do its thing and just observe. We'll start to shift our breath pattern. Breathing in for a count of 4. Hold your breath in for a count of 2, and then exhale for 6. So take a normal breath in, a breath out. Breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 2, 1. Out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In for 4. Hold for 2. Out for 6. In for 4. Hold for 2. Out for 6. Continuing this on your own. 4, 2, 6. Two more rounds. Allow your breath to come back to whatever its normal or easeful pace is right now. Letting your breath move however it wants to move for about 3 rounds. As you're ready, gently blinking open your eyes. Setting yourself up for your final relaxation here. Set up pillows, blankets, and whatever way you need for your final rest. You could lay over bolsters and pillows so that you're laying on an incline. Maybe you want to lay on your side like we started. Maybe you want to lay in your bed or on your couch. So find a place and everything that you need to get cozy, to get comfortable. Setting yourself up for these last few minutes of rest. Slowly widening your breath. Bringing more air in with each inhale. And letting all of the breath go with each exhale so that you can start fresh again on the next breath in. Taking any movements that feel particularly good for you. And as you're ready, making your way up to a comfortable seat. Take your time. Taking one hand to your heart, one hand to your baby, and bow your head to both of them. Feeling your breath, your heartbeat, and the connection you have to your baby. We'll end with some words from the book, Revolutionary Mothering. Mothering, radically defined, is the glad gifting of one's talents, ideas, intellect, and creativity to the universe without recompense. Radical mothering is the imperative to build bridges that allow us to relate across barriers. Bringing a breath into the center of you, giving it back. Thank you all so much for joining us today. It was so great to see you, to see new faces, new names, and faces I already know. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Couple things. I'm leading a retreat, a family-friendly retreat in Dominican Republic in October, and I'm really excited. We're going to have childcare. It's going to be beautiful. Single people or non-children having people are invited as well, but for those who have kids, childcare. Anyway, if you want to come, you can find me on the internet. I'm there. And I also have a couple other things going on. If you want to check it out, check it out. And the Womb Room, as always, has wonderful doulas, great childbirth ed classes, great lactation classes. I highly recommend checking them out.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Cleo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kelly.